Hey everyone, today we are going to be talking about Marie Kondo and her new admission that she's kind of given up on the tidying thing. Not entirely, but it's going to be a fun discussion. Balancing building a successful business and being a superstar mom is hard, and yet in today's digital world, it's more common than ever.
The question becomes, how do we successfully grow a business and children at the same time?
Join us for a candid conversation as we share our insights into marketing and motherhood. I'm Angela Reeder.
And I'm Jessie Valle. Welcome to the Marketing Moms Podcast.
So Jessie actually sent me this article in Messenger not too long ago and was like, oh my gosh, you have to look at that. Which I think was the reaction of a lot of moms when that article came out. The one in People.
Yeah. The article in the interview, an article.
Yeah,
in
the interview.
People. Yeah. The same thing happened to me. One of my sister-in-laws sent it and was like, Jessie, have you seen this? Partly because out of everyone, I am the organization freak, and including it's not just organizing your business, it's organizing everything. And it's interesting because it came during a weekend of me purge cleaning my kids' bedrooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I admire her for this.
Mm-hmm.
That's my stance. Before we even get into the discussion, everyone should know I am on Team Kondo.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. And I think it was, and I think everybody's very excited to hear her finally admit that being a new mom of 3 is not the best time to be decluttering and tidying and purging and keeping everything immaculate. But I have heard her say in past interviews that your house is going to look like your house, and she's just kind of giving suggestions. But personally, she lost me with you can only have so many books. That's where she lost me.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, though, that one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation with you, Angela, is because I saw another mom online, and I understand social media is social media, but she did one of those things where she showed the article in the background and she was laughing at it. She was just laughing, and I'm just like, that's rude.
Yeah.
To me, okay, so quote from the article. I used to be a perfectionist, but it became difficult to maintain that standard after having my children. So much was out of my control. I hope my openness on the subject will help others to ease up on impossible standards I gave up on perfectionism a while ago. How can you not applaud her for that?
Right? That's a brave statement, especially from her in the position she's kind of put herself in as, the tidying up influencer or whatever. And I did notice too in the interview a few times she mentioned this is what I'm doing for myself in this season of my life. And we've talked about that a lot on here, how different seasons of the year, your life, your business are going to require different things out of you and require you to focus on different areas.
Yeah. So if anything, honestly, I think it was super brave of her because she's built her name, and I know we're almost 5 minutes into this, but we haven't explained. Marie Kondo is the queen of clean. She is, she had a book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She had a Netflix series that everyone binged in a day.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It was so good because she would go into people's homes and help them tidy up.
Yes.
And it is life-changing to make some of those decisions, but just like everything we've mentioned on this, show, this podcast, take what you want, leave what you don't. Every family, every person's situation is different and your needs are different.
Right.
So to me, for her to just outright say, "You know what? Maybe my methods are a little extreme." I mean, she didn't, don't quote me on that. She didn't say that, but this is the gist I'm getting.
Yes.
Maybe my methods are a little extreme and I can't handle this. I mean, I remember when the Netflix series came out and I saw some interviews from her, and she was saying that she feels this pressure to have her house be the cleanest of all because that's what she helps other people do.
Right.
And I feel for her.
Yeah.
It's like it is. It's like no matter what your specialty is, people expect you to have the best one out there.
Right.
If, you're a website builder, you better have the best website.
Mhm.
If you are a social media manager, your social media accounts better be immaculate. If you it's crazy though, because for example, Angela and I know marketing and we know tech and all these things. Our systems are not the best. Like, I'll be
No.
the first to admit it. Like, it is easy for us to do that to help others, but when it comes to yourself, it's always the hardest. Isn't it always the cobbler's kid with no shoes, right?
Yes. Yep.
Like you do for others and it's really hard to do for yourself.
Yeah, it's hard to take that time for yourself. And I do also kind of want to applaud her because we have talked before about the influencers with the six figures in 6 months and
Huh?
make, run your business during nap time and all of these really unattainable things. And so for her to come out and having also consistently said, like, I'm just trying to help people, whatever you need for your house. And then for her to come out and say, hey, like, yeah, this isn't really sustainable for me right now in this season. Like, she definitely deserves some credit for that because that's really hard as an influencer to come out and say, yeah, this isn't going to work for everybody. Like, this
Even
thing that
me.
I've been teaching isn't going to work for everybody. It doesn't even work for me right now. Like, that's how often do you get to see an influencer come out and say something like that?
I know. It's so brave of her. I, the other thing that she was talking about, what I love is that she realized and accepted that once you have kids, a different higher priority pops up in your life. In the interview,
Hmm.
she talks about having the choice to like spend more time with her family, and that's the route she wants to go because it's more important to her than tidying
Yeah.
up. And I mean, yes, that's what I love, like you said about the influencers, because there are so many people out there that it's a unique perspective to become popular on something before you have kids and then
Yeah.
realize that your life with children is different.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it bad or wrong or less than, it just makes it different.
Yeah.
You have
And
different needs.
a lot of times we see influencers really try to hang on to promoting those systems and,
Mhm,
kind of still projecting that they work for everybody. It's totally a thing that I do. And it's like
mhm.
that. No, it's not. No, it's
Yeah,
not. It's the same reason you and I have said before that we have a hard time reading time management books written by men
mhm.
that are like C-suite level
Yeah. Like, your
level
life
authors
is not the same as my
because
life.
it just does not, yeah, it doesn't, your life does not look like my life.
Yeah. And I think that that's one of the things that I've always admired about our podcast is that we try our best to say, "Listen, these are ideas. S
Hmm.
Take what you want, leave what you don't. Some of them may work for one of you, and some of it may work for all of you." Like, but it's not going to be 100% all the time, and I just love that we're here to talk about the reality that everyone is different. I can't sit here and tell you exactly what's gonna work in every
Yeah.
situation of your business, in your life, with children, but what we can give you are tips. Take
Yes.
'em or leave 'em.
Yeah. And I think even, with Marie Kondo saying, okay, this isn't exactly what I'm doing, like she hasn't given up her system entirely. She's
No.
just changed it to fit the season she's in. She has a new baby. All of a sudden, there's three kids. I can tell you from experience, the jump from two kids to three kids is just mind boggling. You wouldn't think it would be, but Sure is. Uh, and so, to take that and say, okay, I'm going to adjust and adapt, like that's important, especially if you are trying to balance being a mom, taking care of your family needs, taking care of the home, and running a business. You have to be able to adapt and adjust your systems and processes, or you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. And she did this um, People article because she actually has a new book called, I'm trying to find it here. I know it means something about way of life.
Yes.
Why do I not see it?
Marie Kondo's Kurashi at Home: How to Organize Your Space and Achieve Your Ideal Life,
There you go.
which
So,
I will probably read. I read her first book.
yeah.
Um, it's it's one of those things. It's like watching the Netflix special where you see it and you're like, "Ooh, now I have to go do that." And then,
Mhm.
I'd like organize my sock drawer or something and be like, "And I'm done." Uh,
Yeah.
but there were a
Um,
lot of really good things in her first book, even though I was reading it as a new mom of three. Uh,
mhm.
that I was able to take. One of her big things with the like, does it spark joy?
Yeah.
Which I think is really applicable to not just tidying up, but also other things in your life. Is it sparking joy? Is it making you happy? Is it working, or is it driving you absolutely crazy?
Yeah. I mean, don't tell my kids this, but there was a puzzle that for some reason kept getting opened and all the pieces kept getting
Oh,
used as
yeah.
like rocks in a dump truck
Uh
or
huh.
just literally all over the floor, and then we'd clean it up. Then the next day it happened again. And I'm like, nobody's using this as a puzzle. Guess what? It magically disappeared overnight.
Yeah. And I bet they didn't even notice.
They didn't even notice. They
No.
didn't. You're right. Not a single kid has asked me where that puzzle went. And guess what? I feel so much better because every
Yes.
time it was like I was getting PTSD every time I saw one of those puzzle pieces. Like it was the anti spark joy. Okay. It was
Yes.
spark anger.
Yes. My kids had a toy like that when they were little. You will probably know it because it's recent enough. It was like a elephant, but that you put butterflies in. You turn it on, it would blow the butterflies in the air, and you try to catch them with a little net.
Mm-hmm.
My kids had that when they were little, and I swear it's like 7 years later, and I still find those butterflies sometimes. And they never got used for what they were supposed to be used for,
Never.
like
Mm-mm.
ever. The elephant would get turned on, but nothing would be in it. They would just want to see it do the thing. And the butterflies got scattered everywhere, and I swear I'm still finding them.
Yeah. It's we all have those things. It's oh, if there's anything you take from Marie Kondo, it's okay to let it go.
Yes.
For me, like, so I told you how I did tidy up this weekend,
Hmm.
and I literally walked around the whole house, found every book I could find, and put it in a huge pile on the floor. And we went through it, and we got rid of all the baby books because
Hmm.
my youngest is almost 4. I know. Don't go down that route. Um,
Mm.
sad mama over here. But we got rid of all the baby books, and by get rid of, I mean I boxed them up, and I'm gonna wait until someone I know has a baby. So it's not like I'm throwing these things away.
Right.
I'm able to pass them on, but I just got them out of myself. I got them out of the clutter. I got them somewhere else where because we didn't need them
Where
anymore.
they're not in your way. And then it
Not in my
makes it
way
easier for them to find the books that are
that they want.
their age and that they want, yeah. I did something similar before Christmas. I purged a bunch of my kids' toys to make
Mhm.
room for new Christmas toys. Um, but also, speaking of sad mamas, my youngest informed me yesterday that she is a pre-tweenager.
Oh boy,
So
a
because
pre-teenager.
a pre-teenager, which was a new one for me, but you know.
Whatever. I mean, hey, so we have these coffee cups that one of my sister-in-laws got us, and me and my youngest. Mine says Mama Bear, and his says Baby Bear, like a tiny little coffee cup, like a cocoa mug.
Oh,
And every time I say, "Oh, it's Baby Bear," he goes, "No, it says Medium Bear." I'm like, okay,
Sure it does.
I'm wrong. I'm reading it wrong. It says medium bear for sure.
Yep.
Which
You're
you can
right,
say
it does
'cause
say
he
that.
can't read at 3.
Yeah.
Yep, it does. Medium bear it is.
Oh,
But the other thing was, as we were going through it, the kids were like, "Oh, I love this book," or, "Oh, I haven't seen this in forever." And the crazy thing is, I mean, I went through with a trash bag. I threw out, like, the little kids' meal toys and, like, just the random pieces of paper and the broken
yep.
toys and all the, like, things that were not part of, like, a nice, legit toy, and I know that
Yeah.
they weren't gonna miss. And there is so much more space in their rooms. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's amazing how much more space there is when you get rid of all of the stuff. And it's so much easier to do with our kids' stuff than our stuff.
I know. It's like the kids' rooms are beautiful, and then I step out into the living room, and it's a, you know, war zone. Just like, "Yeah, I'll tackle that another day."
Yeah. Yeah. And I see people do that in business too, because I work with clients a lot and I get into their tech systems, things like that. And I see a lot of people holding on to old programs or courses or
Mhm.
service, the software as a service that they don't need, that isn't working for them, that they've outgrown, and they just can't let go of it. And that's really hard. Like, that's a hard conversation to have with people, to say, like, this isn't working for your business anymore. You need to let it go and find something that is.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone the other day who had, like, a 20,000 person list and was still doing, like, this janky email system, and I'm like, I know it sucks, but you're gonna have to
Hmm.
pay, like, $150 a month with a list that big to get
Yeah.
on a legit system.
Yeah. Yes.
When you have a list that big, I'm sure you can afford $150
Yeah.
to market to them via email, which is a very important part of marketing, so I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you should probably do
Yeah.
that."
And when you have a list that big, like, you should have those systems in place to effectively market and communicate with people.
It's just hard because I know how businesses boom exponentially.
Hmm.
And so you one day you're small and you can do the little crazy systems and have the small amount of people working on your team where one person does 7 things.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's too much and you're frazzled and you're trying to run around and you can't figure out how to organize. But that's why there are people that come in and help with that. They
Yeah.
specialize in in organizing and setting up your systems
Yeah.
and while it probably seems like a lot at the time, like, "I don't need that, that's too much." You know what? 6 months down the road, you're gonna be so thankful that's how you set it up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of going back to Marie Kondo. Sometimes you need someone to kind of inspire you to clean up your systems and make changes and do things that are going to, down the road, are going to help in your business.
Yeah. So, I really do encourage you to even though it came out was it, like, 2018, I wanna say?
Yeah.
Um, the tidying up on
Hmm.
Netflix, it to me, it's worth a watch. Take the bits and pieces that you want. The biggest thing for me was, like, she gives permission to say this let's say it's a really nice thing that you have, but you don't like it. It's okay to let it go. Donate
Yeah.
it, give it to someone else, like, that big, uh, kitchen gadget that's just taking up
Yeah.
space.
The
I
one
use
trick
this once
pony.
every 3 years.
Yes.
It's okay to get rid of it. I encourage
Yeah.
you to watch the show, take what you want, but also to see what other areas of your life you can apply it to. Like we were saying in your business, just because you have all these things, you can simplify and still be effective.
Yeah. I like to go through once or twice a year and look through my business expenses to see if there are any softwares or programs that I either haven't been using or I'm outgrowing or may need to be upgraded. And that can be a really big help in your business, just to kind of get an idea of where your money is going and also what kind of systems and processes you have in place currently.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I will link the People article down below in the show notes. And I can't wait to chat with you next week. Bye. Thank you for joining us today. We're so honored this is where you chose to spend your time.
If this episode helped you in some way, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. We're in this together.
And if you're ready for next steps, free goodies, and more, head over to marketingmomspodcast.com.
We'll see you next week.